Welcome everybody to another Beastman review. Today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Siege, War for Cybertron, Skytread. Now, Skytread, it's a jet and a tank. I mean, there you go. Thank you guys for watching. Okay, so his original name was originally Flywheel. There was, I guess, a copyright issue with that name, so they went with Skytread. Still keeping it in line with, the two words becoming one. Um, I do have the original jet. I just don't have the original tank. I don't have it to show you for a comparison, so we're just going to move on with that. But I'm going to show you guys this. This is the Transformers Titan Returns Skytread. And as you can see, right now he's a tank, but as you're familiar with the Titans Return line, little robot becomes a head. And the head, I believe, it tends to look more like the one for the actual larger figure. This cannot plug into it. There we go. It'll stay in my hand. I think they modeled that head from this one slightly more than the original, but that's just my theory. So let me show off this little Titan vehicle. So this is supposed to be a tank reminiscent to his tank mode. As you can see, it's not exactly close, but then again, this isn't exactly close to the original, but it is what it is. But it can also become a type of flight vehicle reminiscent of his jet mode. So it's cool Hasbro did that. Nice little nod to the figure that we would eventually get years later. So let's take a look at the jet mode first. It does have a gun, does come with a gun, and you can put it underneath the cockpit. You can put it on these spots underneath, under the wings, or on top, but the top is kind of tight, so I just kind of leave it right there underneath the cockpit where it kind of looks as clean as it can possibly look on this figure, with it already being so clustered on the bottom. So, ton of panel lining, molded detail, and some slight paint applications. Not a lot, but it's enough. You got this goldish silver paint by the intake on the front edge of the wing and on the tail fins. You do get some gold paint. I'm going to call it gold paint for the rest of the video. On the gun, I just like the amount of molded detail they did on this figure. The cockpit is this nice deep blue with an Autobot with a Decepticon insignia painted on it, which is a throwback to where the sticker was at on the original figure. I don't know what more else to really say about it. It's nice. It's a nice jet. If you're looking at it from the bottom, it's got terrible visible robot syndrome, but at least you can't see its head, so that's a plus. Compared to the tank, they're roughly about the same size. The jet's just slightly longer. But let's move on to the tank mode. It's got the scuffed up paint that Siege was known for. It's the same metallic gold for the treads, the front panels, and on the gun. And it does have a Decepticon sticker on it. That's a rip label I put on because it lacked that. But there's also some paint details on these intakes too. I forgot to mention that. So, what you can do if you really want, you could kind of swap weapons with them. But to me, that just looks kind of zany. I mean, not super bad zany, but it's definitely a bit zany to the max. So that's something you can do. Same thing you can do with the tank. You can actually put both guns on there, and it kind of reminds me of something that Cobra Commander would have. Kind of funky looking space cannon. So, we can, got in there pretty good. And through the power of editing, I am going to transform it. And ta-da, there he is in his robot mode. As you can see, the tank becomes his pants. I'm assuming they're Levi's because they're built tough. Or I think that's Ford. Anyways, yeah, he does have quite a bit of articulation. He does have an ankle tilt, and his foot can go forward, and it pops his thigh. But hey, you know what? Articulation's articulation these days. Can go that far up at the shoulder. Can do a full 360 at the shoulder. Has an elbow. So he got a good range of motion in that arm. The hand is on a swivel, but that's mainly just for transformation. So you can actually hide his fist. But hey, you know what? That's cool. But they were nice enough to at least give you some type of waist swivel. So good on you, Hasbro. The knee, it's got some good range in it. You can at least get some pretty dynamic poses out of the figure if you really wanted to. And the back, it's a pretty clean backpack considering he's got an entire jet on his back. There we go. So if you really wanted to, you could disengage that gun, pop it on his arm, and you can kind of flatten it out, and he's got something I guess you could say looks like a jetpack. Another thing you can do, let's fold his jet wings back, snap that back. You can take that same blaster from earlier, fold that up, pop that out, and pretty much you can have himself as a weapon. There we go. Oh yes, and with the head. So you can kind of see my camera likes to agree with me on these, probably not. Let's get them facing forward. So you can kind of see, oh, not really. Now come to think of it, it's kind of different. I kind of thought about that. Gosh. When this figure first came out, I was like, hey, you know what? That looks more like the Titan's Return head. I was wrong. Dead wrong. Now in this mode, you can see a little bit more detail, paint detail. He's got that metallic gold on his forearms. And the face has a nice silver paint for his face. And a very nice red for the lenses. There we go, we're getting some dynamic shots now. And he's got that same brown plastic for his helmet. So, do I recommend this figure? I do. If you're into, I guess, the Duo-cons, or you just like combiners, simple combiners. So we're going to do some size comparisons. Here is Snapdragon from Siege. So as you can see, he's slightly shorter, but he's just slightly taller. Here he is with his fellow tank pant friend, Overlord. Pretty much the same concept. It's a jet on top of a tank. Kind of find that kind of ironic. Here he is with Bumblebee. And finally, here he is with a Battleizer, no, Micromaster, yes. Turns into a sword. So I guess it's both. So there we go. And I guess, well, you know what? Why not? Here he is with himself as a Titan Master. So, hey, there you go. So again, if you're into combiners, if you're into Duo-cons, if you're into collecting just overall just random figures like, I was going to say Flywheels, Skytread, if you can find them, pick them up. I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store last year, early last year. Yeah, so it's been a while since I've had him. I've debated on doing a review on him for months and months, and I don't know why. I'm like, hey, you know what? Let me pull him off the shelf and let me go over him a bit. Oh, one other thing you can do. I feel like Uncle from Jackie Chan Adventures. One more thing. You can take the blasters, and it's this way, and you can plug them in, and he's got a long cannon rifle of extreme violence. Another thing that you could do, which I didn't show in their vehicle modes, is that you can plug the different assortment of blast effects on there. So that's a thing you can do if you wish. It is your choice. It's not Chuckarama, but it is your choice. So there you guys go. If you guys enjoyed this review, please let me know in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. It does help me out a lot with the channel. And also, please consider checking out my social medias. Facebook at official Nerdle Beastman. Instagram at _robotic_beastman. And on Twitter at the Mighty Beastman. Thank you guys for watching, and roll out.